Okay, in this video we're going to look at how to graph a line using the equation without having to make a table. So let's say we have our rule, y equals 2x plus 3. So if we want to graph this without having to make a table, we want to understand what this equation is telling us. Well, this equation is telling us that we have 3 tiles in figure 0, and we're adding, our growth is we're adding 2 tiles each time, each figure. That's what the equation is telling us. Y equals 2x plus 3. We understand this now, that this positive 3 means we have 3 tiles in figure 0, and this 2x, that means we're adding 2 tiles each time. So to set up our graph, okay, we want to get in the habit of doing 4-quadrant graphs from now on. So we have our x and y axes. Again, we're making 4-quadrant graphs. We want to be able to graph this equation by understanding the pattern it represents. That's going to make things quicker and easier than making a table. So we're graphing y equals 2x plus 3. So we have 3 tiles in figure 0, but figure 0 we know is on our y-axis. We have 3 tiles in figure 0, and we're adding 2 tiles each time. So we go over to figure 1, and we add 2 tiles. We go over to figure 2, and we add 2 tiles. And that's it. It is that easy to graph a line. So we go over from figure 0 to figure 1, we go over one figure, we add 2 tiles. And we just continue this pattern in the other direction. Okay, we go back a figure, we subtract 2 tiles. We go back a figure, we subtract 2 tiles. Just following the same pattern of the line. We draw a line through it, put arrows on the ends, and we just graphed our line very quickly using our understanding of the pattern that this represents. Okay, so we'll do one more together before you try some on your own. So let's say we have y equals negative 3x plus 4. Okay, so we're going to set up, again, a 4-quadrant graph. Okay, so now we want to understand what this rule is telling us. What pattern does this rule represent? Well, this pattern represents we have 4 tiles in figure 0, and this negative 3 means we're subtracting 3 tiles each time. So let's start where we start. We have 4 tiles in figure 0, so we know we stay right in the middle, right on our y-axis, because that's when x equals 0, and x is our figure number. So we have 4 tiles in figure 0. It says now, as we go from figure to figure, as we go to figure 1, we're going to subtract 3 tiles. As we go to figure 2, we're going to subtract 1, 2, 3 tiles. As we go to figure 3, we're going to subtract 1, 2, 3 tiles. Remember, we always have to go over to the next figure, and we're subtracting. So we go over to the next figure. It says plus 1, because we're going adding 1 to our figure number. We're going over one figure, we're subtracting 3 tiles. We're going over one figure, we're subtracting 3 tiles. And we draw our line through these points with arrows on the end. And that's how we just graph y equals negative 3x plus 4 very quickly using our understanding of the pattern it represents. So this example, you're going to try on your own, so try and graph y equals 4x minus 5 using your understanding of what this equation, what pattern this equation represents. So press pause, try and graph it, and then press play to check your work. Okay, so again, we set up a 4-quadrant graph. label our axes, include our scale, so again, we want to understand the pattern this represents. So we have -5 tiles in figure 0, because this is -5, and that's -5 tiles in figure 0, and we're adding 4 tiles each time, because our growth is what we multiply by x. So we start with our figure 0. We have -5 tiles in figure 0. As we go over to figure 1, we're adding 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. As we go over to figure 2, we're adding 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles, and so on. Over to figure 3, we're adding 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. Okay, so we go over one figure, and we're adding 4 tiles. We go over one figure, and we're adding 4 tiles. Again, I'm just including some growth triangles to help us see how this tile pattern is growing. And we draw our line through our points, and that's it. So for more examples, refer to your textbook or some of the online resources provided on the website or the homework hotline.